to succeed in life. It is required in all spheres, whether personal or professional. In many surveys, it has been seen that verbal communication was ranked higher than proficiency in computer software programs, technical knowledge related to the job, and even the ability to make decisions. Well, what is communication? Is it all about choosing the right words and saying what the others want to hear? Actually, there's so much more to it. It can take many shapes, and if we are good at it, we can get our message across easily. And we can relate better with others too. Why do we see that some speakers are so appealing? How can we spice up our talk? Is this a skill that can be learned? Or do we have to rely on our own intellectual brilliance to give a brilliant talk? But what if I don't have it? I need help. Are there tools which we can use to spice up our talk? As a language teacher and an educator, I have seen that words have a lot of power, provided you know when and how to use them. Imaginative and gripping vocabulary will engage an audience quicker. So we look up dictionaries and thesaurus to expand our vocabulary and sometimes end up not only mispronouncing the word, but also misusing it. I heard a speaker use the word decorum to refer to decorations in a room, when all of us know that the word actually refers to a high level of dignified behavior or appearance. We use rhymes, alliterations, quotes, humor, stories, and whatnot to spice up our talk. Still, we find people looking at the mobile or seeming bored while we talk. Why is it so? What do we lack? Why can't we connect to them? Are we not listening to them properly? We definitely need to pepper our talk to make an impact. Our eminent experts here will now throw light on the matter. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to a very productive discussion with such eminent experts here today. I now request Ms. Venus Maheshwari to take over and introduce and invite Ms. Nivedita Mirajkar for her session. Over to you, Venus.
Thank you, Sujata ma'am. Welcome all. Myself C. Venus Maheshwari, Treasurer of ISTD Kota chapter. Now I would take an honor to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Nivedita. Ms. Nivedita Mirajkar is an alumnus of Prestige Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Pune, where she did her MBA. She went on to acquire her second master's in marketing from Pondicherry University. She worked for 8 years in marketing job before taking a career shift to education, a field in which she has clocked in 12 years teaching MBA student as an associate professor and MBA program coordinator. She is currently a behavioral trainer. She is an active member of Mangalore Toastmasters Club, Mangalore Marathi Mandal, and ISTD.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you very much. I'm ready to go. I can give my pitch.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. I thought Venus will be introducing the other two persons also.
No,
I was waiting.
No.
It's all mine. All right. Good evening, everybody. Anita, first and foremost, thank you for calling me for such a wonderfully arranged meeting. And now I know what I'm dealing with when I talk to Anita, because her organizing skills are just absolutely the best. writing, what we are talking, what we are saying, then it becomes a little ambiguous. It meanders here and there. It goes all over the countryside and back. And people are left wondering, what is it that we heard? What is it that we invested our time in? This is something which bad communication does, that people end up confused as to what they were communicated. So any kind of communication to be effective, the first is going to be decide on the purpose of that communication. In very simple terms, I would say there are three types of communications that we should worry about, or what is it that the purpose of our communication is. The first one is the cognitive part. And when I say cognitive, it means anything that goes into somebody's mind. So at a cognitive level, our communication should be in terms of either giving information which was not known before, or to create an awareness, or put in information which was important at that point of time. So right now, if you're seeing the COVID awareness campaign, which went on since April, has taken over, and now everybody's talking about masks and what are the precautions to be taken. So the awareness communication was excellently done. That there is no execution is another matter altogether. But that is the cognitive level where we needed to get into the minds of the people, create an awareness, put in the information as to how we are supposed to deal with this pandemic. The second type of communication that we refer to, or the purpose that we refer to, is the effective one. When we say effective, it means it affects our attitude as well as our behavior. Now, any kind of communication that tries to bring about a change or an improvement in attitude or in behavior is more difficult, because attitudes and behavior is born out of beliefs and values which are entrenched in a person's value system. And hence, changing or making a parallel set of values for a person becomes that much more difficult. So we say that effective communication is a little more difficult than cognitive, because you are now trying to affect the attitudes and the behaviors of people. And the third one, and the very important one, especially for somebody like me who's from marketing, the action part of it, that is the conative part. What purpose is conative? That is what is the action that you want people to take. So once the purpose is known, whether it is only cognitive, whether it is effective, whether it is conative, or a combination of all these three, then the purpose of your communication becomes clear. Once your purpose is clear, how to communicate becomes easy for you, because now you know what it is that you want to convey. The second part, or the second salt that is there, the first is the purpose, the second salt is you yourself. What do you bring to the table in the communication? Teacher. So her competency is definitely going to be, you can't hold her hand as far as the language is concerned. She's going to have the thesaurus not in her hand, but in her head itself. So you can't hit her with the language part of it. She's always going to beat you hollow. So everybody brings something with them. Some have an amazing ability to connect with an audience. Now, you can call this a charisma, you can call this an ability, whatever you want, but some people connect with an audience beautifully. Some people tell stories very nicely. Some people just have a fabulous presence around them, that they enter a place or they are seen and people smile and they look at them and they respond to it. Many of us have great smiles, which we use to our advantage. And that is when I say that you communicate before you communicate. So even before verbalizing, we do start communicating. So these are some of the things that we bring with us, which are intrinsically ours, and many of us are not aware of our strengths. Be aware of your strength. Some of us have a turn of words and we can write extremely well. Start a blog, put that ability into writing great mails and get results. So each one of us needs to worry about what is the strength that I have in communication. It could even be that you have something that is so intangible. It could just be that I know a lot of people who are multilingual. I can see Anita speaking like that, effortlessly slipping into Hindi, effortlessly coming back into English. And then, you know, that effortlessness, that itself is an ability to change mental gears where language is concerned. And over here, it's so amazing that we have an audience that can accept the multilingual talk that is being given. So I love that part of communication, that you can address in different languages. And I think Indians have that innate ability that most of us are multilingual, very few of us are unilingual. So that could be something that you can call as an ability. Some of us have stylized our whole presentation method, the way we communicate. Of course, we should not jump directly into styling. There are 3 steps that you reach for styling. The first, and that happens for every activity or every learning that we have, whether it is riding a bicycle or whether it is swimming. The first is the rudimentary rules. We learn that. The second one is when we become competent. And the third part is where you create your own style. And once you create your own style, the challenge is to break that style and create another style. Because many people do style and they stick to it till they go to their grave. And they never venture out to find out whether there were other ways in which they could have communicated. If you take Amitabh Bachchan as a brand value, you can see that he kept on changing his communication over his career. And that made him very, very successful. He sang, he danced, he used his tone for reciting poems, saying dialogues. In movies, he moved from the clean shaven look to the bearded look. This change in, mind you, all of this is either visual or verbal communication. And this change keeps you in the mind of your audience, because if you are the same, people expect the same and the results will be the same. If you want to challenge yourself, break your style, recreate your style so that you can reach the audience in a new way. I've talked about the 2 salts, that is the purpose and your own self and your strengths that you come over there. I'll get to the peppering part. And one of the first peppers that any of us should be learning to use is humor. And my advice over here would be very simple. Rather than advice, I would say my experience over here would be that please use it appropriately. In fact, that is my mantra for life. I love the word appropriate, because whether it is behavior, whether it is clothing, whether it is words, whether it is humor, you just put appropriate before it and you realize how important that word appropriate is. Now, when I say appropriate humor, types of humor are many. Your kind of humor is many. Everybody has their own way of telling a joke, their own humor that they like. Even the stand-up comedians that we like, some of us may be Kenny Sebastian variety, some of us may be Upamanyu variety. We like different types of humor. Some of us may like slapstick. I still like Charlie Chaplin humor. I still go for Tom and Jerry even at my age. So each one of us has our likings. Each one of us has our ability in which we can use this humor. Now, when you talk about humor, make sure that humor is not the purpose of your speech. Humor should be used as only a spice or only to pepper your talk. Because if you are continuously humorous, then you become a stand-up comedian and the purpose of your speech or your talk or your communication gets lost. And people only want to hear the next joke. So let us not overdo the humor part of it. We need to restrict ourselves as to how much humor can we do. And one of the, there are many types of humor, but the one which I like very much is unexpected humor. Anita, thank you so much for inviting me for this talk. And I thank you from the heart of my bottom. So I don't know how many of you caught the joke, but this is something which is unexpected, that normally you would hear from the bottom of my heart. I made it heart of the bottom, makes it a little different, gets a smile on somebody's face, and you can walk out with leaving people with a smile. So the unexpected twist in humor is something that works very, very fabulously. Humor should not be overdone, because then it gives you less returns. So use an appropriate type of humor, an appropriate amount of humor. The second pepper that I'm going to talk about, which many of us utilize, is referring to anecdotes or experiences or storytelling. My request over here is practice. If there is a story that you wish to tell, is an experience that you wish to share, it should be done in the minimum words, set the context, get in the emotion, deliver it, and get out. So when we are talking about storytelling, when we are telling or narrating anecdotes or experiences, please don't get caught up in the details. We had gone to Goa, was it June 2019? Who cares? Nobody gives a damn whether you went in December or January. Just tell us the story. So whatever your experience, your anecdote or your story, get to it immediately. Make sure that it's a capsule. People do not have the patience to listen to very, very long, winding stories. And make sure your anecdote, story, experience has a purpose. And once that purpose is served, cut it over there. Please do not linger, because many of us, when we talk about our lives, our experiences, and I've seen that the older we get, the more our slate is filled over here, and the more we have to share with other people, and the more we go on talking about our experiences in detail. I think we need to keep it very, very succinct, keep it very, very crisp, and tell it in a capsulated form. And hence I say, practice your stories just like you practice your jokes. Yes, we must practice our jokes. Family is not a good place to practice, because they know your jokes. So practice on unsuspecting people. So tell it in an audience which doesn't know you, and get the response to that. Get your timing right, get your punches right when you're narrating incidences or jokes. Make sure that the effort you have taken into telling that story or that humor comes across very, very nicely. It becomes very effective. Right? So this is something that we need to keep in mind, that the stories that we talk, and actually maybe later we'll talk about it, but I have a concept which I don't say storytelling, I say storification, because a story presumes characters and dialogues and places and context. I say storification because you can take any anecdote or incident or experience in your life, and you can convert it into a story and talk it out to your audience, and they can connect very well with you. One of the reasons why we love Sudha Murthy's talks are, she talks from her own personal experience. All she does is her mind connected to your mind, and she plays the video that is in your mind, she plays it in your mind. So that is what Sudha Murthy does, and hence we enjoy listening to her. The next peppering that I'm going to talk about is quotes. Many of us use quotes, we use sayings, we use maxims, and we overdo it, because I'm so tired of hearing what other people said. Let us cut down on quotes. I worked for a few years in advertising, and I always feel that using quotes is like using Amitabh Bachchan for advertising. Lazy, extremely lazy. Bring in Bachchan, tell him to sell Nimbu Pani, Anardana, Navratna Tel, jo bolega, bechega. But that's a very lazy thing to do, because you have not done anything creative. What have you done? You got in the Bofors gun and you fired. That's all. Not needed. So same goes for quotes, which are, I have seen a lot of people, I come from Toastmasters, I see a lot of people quoting people all over the countryside, from Canada, from UK, from Shakespeare, from Rabindranath Tagore. They quote anybody and everybody. Kalam is also not left. Kalam is quoted. I think if Kalam had got 1 paisa for every time he was quoted, he would have died a very rich person. So I think the quotes should be kept to the minimum. Let's get original with our quotes. I would like it if you could come up with your own quotes. Many of us have lived 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years on this planet. Why do we have to give quotations from Confucius or from Kennedy or anybody else? Can't we give our take on life? Can't we share our life philosophy? So where the quotes are concerned, don't be lazy, be a little creative, and bring in your own quotes. These are the peppers that I wanted to add, and that brings me to the concluding part. And I would suggest that you adjust the salt and the pepper according to the audience that you are addressing, whether it is written communication or verbal. The reason I say that is, you must be relevant to your audience. If you are from the Bunyad and Hum Log Zamana, please do not talk to the Game of Thrones crowd, because it will be completely outdated. If you want to remain in touch with the younger generation, we need to talk their language. And I'm not saying we have to talk their language in terms of their short forms or their vocabulary. I am saying we need to be where they are. The programs that they are watching, the serials that they are watching, you need to be in touch. All it takes is be in touch with your children and your grandchildren, and you will remain relevant. So this is something which you have to keep in mind when you communicate. Who is your audience? And what is it that you want to convey to them, in what manner? Because if we convey it in a manner which is dated or old-fashioned, then the communication automatically becomes ineffective. So please make sure that you remain relevant to the audience, the age group, the demographic that we are addressing. Please make sure that your communication is adjusted to that audience, and we remain relevant over a period of time. When we were discussing this session, Anita and I discussed a different titles for this program, and she chose Pepper Your Talk. I had suggested Talk Tadka. So today I could use only 2 spices. So maybe when we have the talk tadka, I will use other spices as well. Thank you so much for being patient listeners. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nivedita ma'am. You have explained so nicely. Sujata ma'am. Very glad the way you have explained.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Nivedita. It was truly an enriching session. Now, as you said, everyone wants to communicate with a person, and we have to get to their level and not be in our own world. Then only we can connect with the person and our communication would be effective. But I just want to, I have a question to ask. Sometimes
You're muted, ma'am.
okay, my question is that sometimes when we touch on a sensitive subject, we allow our emotions to lead us in a conversation. And it sometimes leads us to an unpleasant situation where we say things that we regret later. What should we do in such a situation?
If it is unplanned communication and it's a spontaneous kind of communication, and you're not able to correctly narrate your experience and you get emotional about it, my suggestion would be don't share those emotions with others, because people really don't have time for your emotional drama. And especially if the context is wrong, if you're in an audience, there have been times when in my training session, people have shared their traumatic experiences. They've not overcome it and they've started crying as they shared the experience. My suggestion, don't share experiences you're not able to share in a proper manner, because your emotions are still very raw, you have not processed them. And it might be best to keep these kind of emotions for a one-on-one or in private sessions. If it is a public platform in which you are sharing these emotions, it becomes a drama and it may lose out on the experience. I'll share one example with you.
Yes.
Asha Bhosle always sings the song Piya Tu Ab To Aja. She always sings that song in all her concerts. And the first time R.D. Burman died and she sang that song and she'd say Piya Tu Ab To Aja, and she started crying. She started crying because she remembered her husband, because he had recently passed away, and she started crying. And I mean, the audience was very sympathetic and they waited for her to overcome her emotions, and they waited for her to continue with the singing. But when she went home, what her children said to her was, you please don't cry the next time in the concert, because it will become part of your drama. People will expect you to cry the next time you sing this song. You are a professional singer, sing professionally, don't bring drama to it. So I think if you have extremely raw emotions, please don't share them on a public platform. I have seen people crying, and sometimes it is construed as you touch somebody's heart or something. Please stop touching people's hearts in this manner. There are other ways of touching people's hearts and remaining over there. But this emotional overload, what happens is the mood of that whole setting changes, and what you gain is only sympathy. You may not get solutions. You may not even get empathy. So you will only get sympathy over there, and worst of all, you'll create a brand of crybaby for yourself. So let's not do that. If you're on a professional platform, that's not the brand you wish to.
It's just like you said, that humor also, it has to be appropriate. The same thing, similar. That whatever we communicate has to be appropriate.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Now I would like to tell Venus to take over and introduce our next speaker, Dr. Sher Singh Bhakar.
Thank you, Sujata ma'am. Thank you, Nivedita ma'am, for such a nice speech. Now I'm glad to introduce our other eminent speaker for the day, Dr. Sher Singh Bhakar. He has completed his PhD in management from Devi Ahilya University post-graduation in Management Masters in Computer Science from Indo-German Culture Society, Mumbai, and graduation in Engineering, BE, Electronics from New Delhi. He is certified lead assessor for ISO 9001, 14001, and 1801. Dr. Bhakar is a director, Prestige Institute of Management, Gwalior since 2003. Under his guidance, the institute has been accorded autonomous status by the UGC. The institute has been given permanent affiliation by Jivaji University, Gwalior. Of supply chain and value addition in retail. His editorial work includes Chief Editor of a Special Issue of Interest of Public Sector Performance Management, Chief Editor of Prestige International Journal of Research in Marketing Management, Chief Editor of Prestige International Journal of Human Resource Management, and many more. Dr. Bhakar is a well-known consultant and trainer, and he has conducted in-house training program for some of the organizations such as Essar Steel, Syncon Formulations, Supreme Industries, Kurlon, etc. Dr. Bhakar has led senior position of various bodies such as Chairman, Indian Society for Training and Development, Indore chapter in 2003-2004, and Executive President, Gwalior Management Association since 2005 till date, and Vice President of Quality Circuit Forum of India, Gwalior since 2012 till date. Life member of ISTD, Delhi, member of All India Management, New Delhi. Now, I would humbly request Dr. Bhakar to enlighten us with his vast knowledge.
Thank you, Venus. After an excellent presentation by Nivedita Mirajkar, I was just thinking when she was making a presentation, she was touching upon all corners of the communication. I had prepared a small presentation. I do not know how much time do I have. So if I know exactly how much time I have, I will decide whether to go in for presentation based on my slides or talk without slides. Anita madam, how much time do I have?
So you have another 10 minutes for your total presentation.
10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
If I have 10 minutes, then I'll talk without slides because that would take slightly longer. All right.
Okay, so, sir.
And I will be constant.
So if you
okay.
You can share.
It's absolutely it's absolutely nice. It doesn't make a difference. I will be focusing on one-to-many communication and one-to-one communication. Madam Nivedita has already touched upon all the corners, so I will focus only on one part, that is one-to-many. And specifically when you are addressing an audience, you may be a teacher, you may be a speaker, in a gathering, you may be making a presentation in a conference, and there are a number of occasions that you need to make presentations. So I will be focusing only on one-to-many when you are making presentations. And peppering, I'll be restricting to mainly few things in about body language and so on. All right. One-to-many communication. When, as a presenter, when you want to make a speech, or we call it public speaking, is considered as one of the highest fears in the world. A research has indicated that it is a higher fear than, say, blood needles, heights, bugs, snakes, and other animals, drowning. So even it is rated higher than these fears. So you can understand that public speaking is not an easy task. It is not everybody's cup of tea. Everybody cannot be a good speaker and make impact on the audience. Everyone has to, everyone is different, that's a different thing, but then everyone can't be an excellent speaker and make impact on the audience. Now, if you look at what a good speaker is supposed to be, Navita ji talked about that a person should be focused on the topic of discussion and should not move this side and that side. And that's true. That's what I would also like to indicate, that it is, even if you are telling a story, it should be directly linked to the topic that you are discussing. Anecdote, any examples, whatever you are giving, it should be directly related to the topic. And there is no point in extending the topic to this side and that side, because that removes, or that reduces the link between the speaker and the audience. So you should focus on your topic that you are making presentation on. A good presenter has good delivery skills. That's important, that you should have good delivery skills. And major part of the delivery skills come from the body language. See, the language that you use, the speed at which you speak, the content that you have. So I will be focusing on the body language that a person is supposed to have during his presentation. The first part, if you want to connect to the audience, you should have an easy smile when you are making presentation. If you don't have easy smile, and if there's a, if you're very serious in making presentation, you will not be able to connect with the audience. So you should have easy smile. Next is I don't need to put too much of emphasis on it. We are all accustomed to it. That unless you have direct eye contact with the audience, you will not connect with the audience. In fact, while making a speech or while talking to the audience, you need to show that you are looking at everyone in the audience and not 1, 2, 3, 4, or not focus on one group or the other group. And that is what generally, we are not able to do, that we are not able to look at everyone in the audience. We are able to look at few, and then we move out. And at times I have seen that we are not looking at anyone. We are looking at in vacuum. In fact, above the heads of audience. Generally, we focus in the, if there is a wall at the backside, we look at the wall and don't focus on the audience. That's you lose for your audience as soon as you do that. But that happens inadvertently with majority of speakers. The third point is pivot. What is your body posture? That means which side are you looking at? I mean, it is not only eye contact. It is also the body, that your whole body should actually face towards your audience. I have seen sometimes people having sides to the audience and talking. They may have try and make eye contact over the shoulder, but that's not right. You should look at the audience, and at the same time, your whole body should face the audience. That's important. Do not fidget. That's important for any speech. That means you don't put your hands in the pocket or look this side, that side for some aid. That distracts the audience. So try and not do it. You should consider the audience as your friends, as if you know them since long. So if you feel like that you know the audience since long, you probably would have lesser fear than the fear of unknown, because the audience is unknown. You feel that they can ask anything, or their expectations might not be fulfilled by me. So you have a fear. So that would be less if you start thinking that the audience is known to you since long. Now, a good speaker or a good presenter, as Navita said, should have a good, you should be a good storyteller as well. Actually, anecdotes and story, they make the topic interesting and they make it easier to understand. You are able to connect with the audience better. If you concentrate only on the concept or only on the topic that you're discussing and do not make it easier for the audience through story or anecdote, it becomes difficult to connect, and it becomes difficult to continue connecting with the audience for a long period of time. If you have a longer presentation, it will be very difficult to hold the attention of the audience. And a good speaker is patient. That means you need to moderate your speed. When you are making presentation, at times you tend to, because you have a time limit, you tend to increase your speed, move at express speed. Also, when you make good points, you don't give a break. So your excellent points are not noticed. They go as if you are making a general point. In fact, if you're making a very important point, you should breathe 2, 3 times, 4 times. You give a breather, slight gap, and then start speaking the next point so that the important point is absorbed by the audience and it does not get lost in the other, other jargon or other things that you're talking about. Speaking to public audience can be intimidating. So if you prepare your content very well before you go to the audience, it is always it gives you a lot of confidence when you go to the public. Although if you have a fear of stage or if you have a fear of audience, you might forget part of the content that you have. If you have a small points on small piece of paper, if you are not using slides, it's always better that the points are there on each slide. There's a single point, and not that you've not jotted down tons or 15 points. You're trying to read the slide and you're not able to read it. So every slide should have a single point so that you are able to explain. And if there are sub points under the slide, you probably can look at those in the same slide. You can put it on the same slide, 1, 2, 3 points, and not too many points in the slide. I think I have, with my time, 10 minutes available to me, I have talked enough. And later on, we can look at the question and answers. Thank you very much. I have completed my, I have completed.
Right, sir.
Yes, I know. Sir, as you rightly said, good communication can be conveyed through non-verbal signs and body language, gestures, facial expressions, voice tones, eye contact, posture, even breathing you touched upon. And they will definitely help to send our message across. But then I just want to ask you that how can we become engaged listeners too? If you can
that requires a bit of practice, and I said we should be patient with whether we are a speaker or a listener. Both sides we need to be patient. In fact, listener need to be more patient because we have lot of ideas that do not match with the speaker, and we want to put forth those ideas before the speaker actually completes what he's talking about. So, and we're talking on, we are thinking about the ideas that we want to put forth to the speaker and not listening to the speaker. Maybe the speaker has already talked on those, have already replied in his discourse or in his talk about the questions that you would like to ask the presenter. So the best thing is not to interrupt the presenter and listen to him very, very carefully till the time the speaker completes. And when the speaker has completed, then you know what to ask and what not to ask. So the best thing is let the speaker complete.
Thank you so much, sir. That again, it's the same point that we need to be very, very patient and focused all the time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Venus.
All right. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhagar sir. Now I would take an honor to introduce another speaker for the day, Mr. K.M. Tandon sir. He is graduated in chemical engineering from University of Roorkee in 1977 and did his masters in chemical engineering from IIT Chennai. After graduation, he joined Shriram Fertilizers and Chemicals as a graduate trainee. He has 42 years of experience. He has been involved in all improvement initiatives like TQM, TPN, ISO certification. He has worked in many energy saving projects and has presented papers in India and abroad. He was chairman of the Institution of Engineers Kota Local Center for the period 2004 to 2006 and has been the state executive committee of the institution for the 3 consecutive sessions up to 2018. He is an erstwhile chairman of Indian Society for Training and Development, Kota chairman, and is currently a National Council member. With an academic band, he has been delivering lectures on technical and general interest subject in local area. Now, I would request Tandon sir to enlighten us with his vast knowledge and experience.
Thank you, Venus. Someone saying something? Thank you, Venus. That was a very, kind introduction that you gave about me. Only one correction: I am not a National Council member now. I used to be a National Council member. Okay. Now coming back to the talk, I think the talks of both Mr. Bhagar and Ms. Nivedita have been very, very insightful, and they have covered almost everything which is to be covered. They have covered every aspect, and their comprehensive treatment of the subject leaves very little for me to add. But I'll have a few things to say because thoughts are triggered by other people's thoughts. And so I think I can say a little bit. I'll start with an anecdote. And the anecdote is very short one. There was a man who used to give very good speeches, very nice speeches. He was a brilliant orator. And someone asked him, how are you able to give such beautiful speeches? He says, look, friend, when I promulgate my esoteric cogitations, I always take care of pondiferous ponderosity and voracious veracity. In other words, I keep to the facts and I use very simple words. So basically, the crux of the communication is that we must use the language that other people understand. Because language is only a medium. It is not the end. The end is the action which is going to emanate out of the understanding which the other person will achieve after you have made the communication. So I think it is very, very important that we use very simple words when we are trying to say what we want to say. Of course, some people are there who have to speak. If you see, you ought to speak when you have to say something, but you don't just say something because you have to speak. See the difference. The difference is this only, that if you have something, some positive point available with you and you want to communicate to others, that is the time when you should speak. Otherwise, you should be listening. And listening, as Sujata madam had asked just now, basically you have to have this active listening. Active listening means you are not listening to react, you are listening to understand. When you listen to understand, then it generates more ideas within your own brains. But yes, when I heard the topic, peppering your talk, I thought it was about motivation, because pepper adds that masala, to the whatever communication you are giving. And there are times when people forget their own competencies, their own power. It happened with Hanumanji also. Hanumanji was asked to go to Sri Lanka, and he said, I can't do it. It's very impossible. How can I jump across the sea? And Jamwant had to come and give the pep talk. And he told him, Arey, why don't you do it? You are full of divine power and all that. So every person, every human being requires some amount of pep talk at some time or the other. So this pep talk basically is to reveal your competency, reveal what is there inside you. Sometimes we don't even know what we are, there is a story in Shiv Khera's book where he says that about this, a chicken was living with one eagle was living with some chickens, and it started behaving like the chickens only. And then one day he saw that the eagle was soaring far, far high above in the sky. And he said, I wish God would have made me like this. But the realization never came that she is actually an eagle. So ultimately what happened? He lived the life of a chicken and died a life of a chicken. So we need to know exactly what we are, and sometimes we are not capable enough to do it ourselves. We need others to do it for us. So one thing I noted when Ms. Nivedita was speaking, see, there is a paradox that speakers must appear very authentic, and at the same time, they should also not be very dramatic. So this paradox is there. You can't have the drama, and you also have to be authentic. But the life is full of drama. What can you do? So one has to temper the act to a level of balance which can be palatable to the audience. And that is how a little amount of pepper is to be added, not a very large amount of pepper. So little bit of pep talk is always good, off and on. I think that's what I had to say. Thank you very much. I have come to the end of my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Tandon sir. Sujata ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Tandon sir. Now we have the open question answer session. So there is one question which has come to us. It is from Mr. Nepal Singh. During the pandemic scenario, when people were working from home, how could the speaker be effective to the target audience and coordinate effectively as a team? Any one of the three speakers today could answer. I'll repeat the question. During the pandemic scenario, when people were working from home, how could the speaker be effective and convey his message to the target audience and coordinate the team effectively? Well,
see those. Okay, can I answer this question,
yes,
please?
Sure.
See, for the people who are actually doing it for the first time, it is a challenge, and it is not only a challenge, but it is also an opportunity. All the teachers of various schools, who have never faced the camera, they have started teaching online. And how has that happened? That has happened because that adversity has come as an opportunity to them. Yes. But those persons who are already very good speakers, for them also, see, it is you are basically talking to the laptop. But there is a whole world behind the laptop. So you are not addressing that instrument. You are actually addressing people. So that should be in the mind always. And not feel that you are sitting alone in the room and talking only to a stupid electronic device.
Yes.
You should always think that you are talking to people. And when you start thinking in that way, then your talk becomes more humane, it becomes more effective. That is how people can do it. And of course, for the beginners, it is a very good opportunity to face the camera, to practice all their skills, which they would later on require when they go on stage. The stage fright will go, that inhibition, that stuttering, that fumbling will just be not there. And people will be able to communicate much better for one to so many. That's it.
Yes. Very well said.
टंडन साहब ने जो कहा उसमें एक दो पॉइंट मैं जोड़ देता हूँ. One very important aspect in online presentations is that you should know technology. That means if you're using whatever, say today we are using Zoom. So you should be good at that, using all the aspects of Zoom so that you don't fumble and you are able to be flawless in making your presentation. That's the first, that's one point I would like to add to what Tandon Sahab said. The second point is that you can't have continuous long presentations when you're making online presentations or when you are having online discussion. It has to be short, and there have to be breaks every after maybe 5 minutes. It has been checked. It has been found that online, you are not able to have attention of the audience for more than even 45 seconds if you do not change your tone, you do not change the way you are making presentation, or you add some pepper. The more pepper is needed in case of online presentations than the offline presentations. I mean, your body language doesn't go exactly as it goes in case of when you are in face-to-face presentation. So a lot of communication can happen through body language. But in this case, majority of the communication has to be through the video, visuals, or other aspects of the presentation that you may not need in case of face-to-face, and lot of breaks, maybe for asking questions, maybe for interactions, maybe for polling, but lot of breaks have to be given. Thank you.
If I may just add my 2 penny worth.
Sure,
Tandon sir, completely 120% agree with what you said. Just to the point, his answer was absolutely, and Bakar sir, you were like on the dot you have said. I'll just give an example of what both of you were talking. 2-3 days ago, there was a chapter meeting for the Hyderabad ISTD chapter. The session was conducted by Miss Madhujit Singh on prevention of sexual harassment. The topics was fairly serious, but she had a 1.5 hour session without even 10 seconds being, of distraction.
Okay.
She had us in her thrall for the entire 1.5 hours. And I think all of us must master the art of engagement online. I think we have learned to engage people in person. And like Tandon sir pointed out that if there is an adversity, we'll have to overcome it. There is an obstacle, we need to overcome it. And I think Madhujit Singh ma'am had, she's got it down pat to how to conduct an online session. She kept us so busy in the breakout rooms, then on the chat box, then on the polls, and then in the discussion. And we just didn't realize that 90 minutes had passed and we had learned so much in the bargain. We also got to know each other because we were in the breakout rooms. And during the question and answer sessions, we got to refute each other's points. And I think what Tandon sir referred to, that being able to put it all together, that is what she was able to achieve. So just sharing Hyderabad session.
That's really great, and really a very wonderful and enriched session today we could organize, and with wonderful eminent speakers amongst us. So I invite if any audience, the session is open for all. If anyone has the question, they can raise a point. Otherwise, I have like few have already raised their hands. I would like to invite them to speak. But if there is any questions, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask question. I believe no. So
No.
I would like to recognize the presence of few dignitaries over here. We have Kochi Chapter Chair, Dr. Zakaria. Thank you, Dr. Zakaria. We have Chandigarh Chapter Chair, Dr. Gunamala Suri. We have Dr. Raj Singh Antil from Gurugram Chapter Chair. Again, we have Vijay Fatiji, the Nagpur Chapter Chair. Earlier, I have recognized few people already. Divya Shri, thank you for joining us today. We have a representation from Jaipur chapter, Mangalore chapter, Delhi chapter, Nagpur chapter, Pune chapter, Noida chapter, Gurgaon chapter, Goa chapter, Thiruvananthapuram, Mr. Mohan Nair. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Chandigarh chapter, Vadodara chapter, we have participation of 2 NC members. Thank you, Mr. Parimal Gandhi and Dr. Kubalkar. Kota chapter, the team is there. Kochi chapter, we have Gurgaon, many members connected with us on Facebook also. Suresh Chandra Sharma sir, thank you so much for appreciating. There's a wonderful compliment, Nivedita ji, for you. As a participant, as a faculty, and as a principal at many banks, Apex Training College, I heard so many eminent speakers and on communication, but Madam Nivedita's talk, I have just witnessed, is superb. So this is for you, Nivedita. So wonderful session it was. May I now request Dr. A.C. Joshi to add on, if you are there, sir. The Director of National...
yes, I am there.
Yes, sir. Let me introduce, everyone knows you, sir, but still, just to invite you formally, please welcome Dr. A.C. Joshi, the Director of National of ISTD from National Office, New Delhi. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Anita. In fact, it was a very, very illuminating, absorbing, and eye-opening session, and the need of the hour. Both the speakers, Nivedita Mirajkar and Mr. Bhakar, were excellent, and in fact, they complemented each other. Dr. Kannan also gave some of the inputs. Welcome, Mr. Kannan. In fact, after a long time, I joined the webinar, busy in all the activities of the national office. So, Anita has always been doing these webinars, and it has been done very, very well. I congratulate both the speakers. I would not really like to go into detail and depth of the topics because they have really covered the need of the hour during COVID times, how our difficulties have been turned into opportunities. And in fact, it opens up a whole new lot of opportunities and new skilling. As Mr. Bhakar was also saying, that once we are using the Zoom platform, then it is not only that we have to simply operate it, but we should know the various features of this program so that whenever we are using it, we are able to do justice with it. We are able to use the rooms, we are able to use all other features wherein the participants are really able to take maximum advantage of the speakers. So it is in fact a long way to go for the speakers to understand the nuances of these softwares. And this really gives us a great opportunity where she talked about Nivedita. In fact, for me, it was the first time that I heard her, and she was excellent. And beautifully, she conveyed about, in fact, she talked about the emotional intelligence, emotional overload, empathy, what's like that. So, in fact, these things have become very, very important for people to understand. We are using these words, but there is a need to understand and apply these words in their day-to-day lives because things are changing in today's world. And what we were doing prior to COVID and now, In fact, our behavioral part also, empathy has become very important to understand the other point of view. So similarly, there are other factors also. So I congratulate both of you, and I congratulate Anita for beautifully conducting this program. Thank you so much. And I thank you for inviting me to attend this program. Thanks once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request Colonel Lamba from Jaipur chapter. Then would love to have Dr. Zakaria from Kochi chapter. Then Vijay Pataji. So we'll just have sequence. So now we'll start without my invitation. Colonel Lamba.
Good evening,
Just for a few seconds, right?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It has been very interesting and delighting to learn and educate myself from the expert like Nivedita, Dr. Bhakhar, and the great experienced soldier from the business world. It has been something very special to find that how to pepper your talk. I give a new name to it. I spoke to Anita in the morning that I find you PhD without having done PhD into pepper your talk. So that is what is most interesting around, that we need to articulate our thoughts before we make a talk. Second point I wish to suggest is somehow when we interrelate ourselves with the audience, we need to be part of them and they give their best, those who feel the best. So we speak the language or discuss a topic or convey our message which makes them to feel best. The communication purpose is to make them to understand, to feel the best. That is first point. Second point is very important and relevant, I feel, is tone, tenor, and rhythm. If that is maintained, then the audience will receive the message as it is. And if you waver or if you are confused yourself, the message will be equally confused, reaching to them. So third point I wish to make is that what Nivedita has talked about is the talk, a talk or a lecture. Talk has to be talked. We should convert our communication anywhere and everywhere into a talk. And I give a new name to it, pamper your talk, instead pepper your talk. So this is my humble approach to communication with regard to, and there is a typical approach I always feel about, and that is reach out, seek out, and search out. That is the way to understand this total understanding or pampering of talk, or pampering your talk, or peppering your talk. So with all this, I really thank the management, Anita ji, and all the speakers, those who spoke so beautifully well. Nivedita can conduct a lot of research work on this, much more for all of us, and we are educated. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Zakaria from Kochi chapter.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. Actually, I'm driving, so you may not be able to
We are able to see
my face. Yeah. But still, I thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I wish all the best for Kota chapter. I ended little late, so I could listen only the last part of Nivedita ma'am's speech. It was excellent because even though I heard only a little bit, ma'am, it was very impressive. Regarding communication, I don't want to speak much, but I will tell you there are a lot of misunderstanding about communication skills. Some people believe if they have mastery over a language, they will be good communicators. That is a misunderstanding, right? I had a professor. He never used more than 50 words in our classrooms, but he was an excellent teacher with excellent communication skill. So it is not number of words or vocabulary that determines the power of communication. It's basically how do you communicate? That is what is more important. For example, you should speak according to the need of the listener, right? That means when you speak, that should touch the emotions, the feelings, the thoughts of the person who are listening to you. I will tell you, being ISTD office bearers, we all need communication skills because we are leaders, right? As leaders, we must be able to communicate exactly what we intend to communicate. There are a lot of misunderstanding happens just because of communication gap. So it is no communication gap happens not just because of not communicating with people. Even when you communicate with people, if the communication is not proper and effective, again communication gap can happen. So to precisely what I want to communicate is, when you want to communicate something, you must be sure what you intend to communicate, and you should deliver it in a way that the listeners are able to understand your language, the medium, the emotions that you try to impart. Then only the recipient can receive it appropriately and can understand what exactly you intend to communicate. So basically, communication is really an art. It is not just language. Even without high-fi language, one can be an excellent communicator because it is an art. If you are able to perform, if you are able to deliver it according to the situation and according to the feel and need of the audience, you can be an excellent orator, you can be an excellent communicator. And I will tell you, being leaders, I will tell you, it is not just 50%, it is more than 80% success of a leader is depending upon how good you are in communication. Because your ability to convince your followers or your ability to influence the behavior and towards the individual, drastically that is influenced by the communication skill of the leader. This is what I want to share at this point of time.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank you
thank
so very much.
all the dignitaries for contributing to this topic and making this session very live. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Fateh, I request you to just 20 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. I know since I'm at the last, I had to look for the time. Thank you anyway. I would like to acknowledge first the contribution by the eminent speaker about the topic. I will just share one word, and that word is IDA. IDA represents the attention, interest, desire, and action. So in communication, whatever you are talking about, the spices that the talk is predominantly focused on, is for the attention. Because unless until we keep the attention or we attract the attention of the audience, we won't be able to proceed further. And then that interest is created because of the way we deliver it. So how it deals with the interest. And there is a desire to learn more, that is a content specific. And what exactly we want output of any presentation is the action or the transfer of learning to the audience. So I would like to just finish with this IDA word, and I would like, if there is a time for expert to comment on the role of attention seeking and in relation to the paper talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. If I had Dr. Nepal, Dr. Parimal, Dr. Antil, Miss Simantini Das, but she had a Pune chapter meeting at 6:30. Dr. Parimal, Dr. Antil, Dr. Nepal. Divyashri, would you like to add on something? Dr. Gunamala, Chandigarh chapter chair.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for organizing this wonderful webinar. Professor Bhakar and Tandon ji is already there, and Nivedita, they have already spoken a lot of things about the communication, which is very, very important for any kind of change or change in mindset of the people and transformation during any situation in the organization, in family, or in any kind of circle or group or any kind of relationship. Communication play a very vital role for everybody. So we have to have the clarity and give the due weightage to the communication with clarity, rather than giving the ambiguity or creating complexity in communication. With simple words, rather than using the buzzwords, we should use simple words in our communication, and with the emotions, which always comes in our own mother tongue. Which we can't translate our emotions in others which is not our language, own language. So we always, when we speak any heart to heart talk, we always speaking with emotions or empathy. So communication, like the Dr. Bhakar already speaks about the body language and the expression, which are missing in during the pandemic. We are unable to understand what kind of message one is giving, because everything we can't understand through the eyes or face. We are not much, everybody is not much mature in reading all these things. So body language express so many things which are not communicated through the words. So body language express that much. With all these things, I just finally will finish that. Thank you everybody
Thank you, sir.
for
Thank you.
inciting us.
Thank you so
And
much, sir. We are running
which
short of time. We are running short of time now. We have to sum up also. We have to sum up the session also. Dr. Gonmala Suri.
Thank you so much, Anita. It was enlightening session. We have gained lot many things. Every speaker is unique and they have shared their views and we have learned a lot. Although we know many things, but always when they reinforce the things, we update ourselves and we finalize that we are doing on the right path. Sometimes we forget few things, but these sessions are so insightful and tell us what is the right way of doing the things. So Anita, thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Upadhyay or Ms. Simantini from Pune? Not there. Fine. If anyone else would like to add on? Right, thank you. So now, may I now request, we will take to the next part of the session. Yes? Is there anyone? Okay. May I now request Madhavi Saxena to sum up the session. Madhavi, unmute yourself. You are muted. Start once again.
Sorry. Yes, thank you, Anita ma'am. And I seriously want to say today's session, as we have seen, it was so wonderful, and not just wonderful, but useful. And although it was so much about how to be professional, but still as a listener, for me, it was very heart touching. And I personally feel if something reaches your mind and also touches the heart, it creates a resonance. And these results are just beyond the limits. Nivedita ma'am, so excellent about each and every word that you said. As she very rightly talked about creating a balance, the equilibrium of salt and pepper in the talks, it is definitely very necessary. She talked so effortlessly and so accurate as Arjun hitting the fisheye. Exactly communication, how like communication before communicating, while communicating, and even after communicating. She beautifully explained how individuals many a times don't recognize their own strengths, whether their tone, their voice, linguistic qualities, or even smile. She also encouraged the speakers to be original and creative and create own quotes instead of being effortless and using other quotes. And I really appreciate that, ma'am, and I'll just love to take that. Nivedita ma'am beautifully conveyed how to create an equilibrium between the purpose, effectiveness, and implementation of the thought that a speaker wants to communicate and connect with the audience. How the storytelling and humor should be crisp, and how the emotions have to be checked on and controlled on a public platform. As she rightly said, sharing of emotion can gain you the sympathy but not the solutions. Very true, ma'am. Bhakar sir focused upon how the communication of the public speaking, one-to-many communications, which is considered to be one of the highest fears, as he talked about several researches as well. He talked about the importance of body language, which a presenter should possess during their delivery. That should include once a smile, proper eye contact, and even the body posture. And very important, a good speaker has to be patient. It's not only the listener has to be patient, but a speaker also has to be patient. Tandon sir gelling up so nicely and adding upon to the talks. He talked on simplicity of language. It has to be very simple, and to be an active listener, you just don't have to reach, but you have to understand what your audience want to listen to. Sir talked about how to realize what we exactly we are. more important, how to temper our talks. And all the three speakers, all the three eminent speakers, specially focused on being specific to the topic that we want to share, not just wavering or not letting it to be ambiguous. And the different ISTD chapter personals, Dr. A.C. Joshi, Colonel Lamba sir, Dr. Zachary, Naipal sir, they all who talked about the technical proficiency, and a new quote came from Colonel Lamba, not only peppering the talk, but also pampering on the talks. And Sir Zachary emphasized on the importance of communication for every leader. Dr. Vijay also explained the role of IDA, and we would love to have an explanation once again whenever we get a chance, sir. And this is like, it was, I seriously say, a wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you, Anita ma'am, and thank you all the speakers. Sujata ma'am, she has put up so beautiful questions. That was really great. And we all are so benefited with this. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I think I would like to add a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure, sir.
Hello.
Sure, sir.
This particular session was very nicely arranged, and I really congratulate the entire team for doing impeccable work on this, and they have really made a presentation which is flawless, and it is of world standards.
Oh, great.
And I thank you.
Under your mentorship, sir. Under your mentorship. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I now request, thank you, Madhavi, for nicely summing up the session. See, so many compliments for the session. Possible ही नहीं है without a wonderful, tremendous team working along with us. This is the very first webinar being organized by a newly elected team. This is again, the entire team is all women. So the women power, Nari Shakti. So really love that, and thank you so very much. ऐसा नहीं है कि नारी शक्ति है तो आप लोगों को आना नहीं है, आप लोगों को आना है, हमारा उत्साह करते रहना है, तभी हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. So thank you so very much for joining us today. May I now request our honorary secretary, Srimati Sadhana Agarwal ji, Ms. Sadhana Agarwal, to please give away her vote of thanks. Sadhana Agarwal ji, vote of thanks के लिए. Ma'am, yes ma'am, over to you.
Good evening to everyone and all. सभी को मेरा नमस्कार. Honorable dignitaries and most valued guests, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks as Secretary of ISTD Kota chapter on the behalf of this esteemed institution. We want to express our gratitude to honorable speakers who spared their valuable time and for us and graced this meeting with their presence. मैं हृदय के गहन तल से धन्यवाद देती हूँ मिस निवेदिता मिराजकर, चेयरपर्सन ISTD Mangalore, जिन्होंने who giving us knowledge about communication. Again, I thankful to Mr. Sher Singh Bhakar, chairperson ISTD Gwalior, who guided us how to communicate and effective tools of communication. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Mr. K.M. Tandon sir, mentor ISTD Kota, who constantly motivating us and now today also have given knowledge about communication. I also thank to Mr. Dr. A.C. Joshi, Director ISTD National New Delhi Headquarter, जो समय-समय पर हमें guide भी करते रहते हैं. I also thank to Mr. Joginder Singh ji, Dr. Jakaria ji, and Dr. Bhatia ji, Nepal ji, and behind every successful program lie our honorable chairperson, Ms. Anita Chauhan, and her management committee, all ISTD senior friends and colleagues. अतः मैं उनको भी धन्यवाद देती हूँ. Our chairperson, Ms. Anita Chauhan, for guiding the institution and its members for being the backbone in our endeavor and constantly motivating us. इस उम्मीद के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम देती हूँ कि ऐसी होनहार चेयरपर्सन will be the national vice president 2020-22 and also we wish for Professor P.K. Sharma ji, Regional Vice President, ISTD North. कदम चूम लेती है खुद की मंजिल, अगर चलने वाला हिम्मत ना हारे. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, ma'am. But I regret she has newly joined as a secretary of this chapter. So please regret her for taking names of myself and Professor Sharma over here, the election part. Please excuse us for this. So मैं ना I would ये vote of thanks होने के बाद तो मुझे कुछ कहना नहीं है, but it is not possible for me कि मैं इस meeting को end करूँ without thanking my lovely beautiful team, the all smart women team of Kota chapter. I thank Madhavi Saxena, Venus Maheshwari, and CA Venus Maheshwari, Miss Sujata Tatir, and Miss Sadhna Agrawal for wonderfully organizing this session. Thank you so very much. Over and out for everyone. I cannot, Dr. Bhakar and Dr. Nivedita and Dr. Tandon, these three dignitaries, they have just given me their consent only over a single phone call. I just said, okay, मैं 2 दिन बाद मुझे session करना है, आप बोलो हाँ. And they said yes. And this is how we did it. So this is really great. And once again, all the chapters joined us from Jaipur, Mangalore, Delhi, Nagpur, Pune, Noida, Gurgaon, Goa, Thiruvananthapuram, Chandigarh, Vadodara, Kota, Kochi chapter, Delhi chapter. Mukesh Jain साहब भी हमारे बीच में थे, मैं नहीं बात कही, मैं उन्हें बुला नहीं पाई. डॉक्टर वाईके उपाध्याय साहब, उनको एक मीटिंग के दौरान जाना.
Just we finished our.
अच्छा, great, धन्य है.
Let's continue, please.
I think Dr. Yogesh wants to share something.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Dr. Upadhyay.
Yes, actually, very nice. See, you have taken the best speaker for the subject. और जब निवेदिता जी बात कर रही थी, तो मेरे को just ध्यान आया, बचपन में I used to go for listening सत्यनारायण का कथा. My mom used to, okay, somebody has to go from house, you have to represent us. And I have seen when the lady started gossiping, how the Panditji was changing from narration to poem. And he used to say, Jaki rahi bhavana jaisi, Prabhu Murat dekhi, drawing the attention. So not only paper, all sort of spices are required in communication. और जैसे एक बोला जाता है कि लोगों के मन का रास्ता पेट से जाता है, ऐसे मन का रास्ता कानों से भी जाता है. और जो मैं सुन रहा था फाटे साहब को उस समय, मन का रास्ता जो बॉडी लैंग्वेज, सॉरी भाकर सर को, कि बॉडी लैंग्वेज से भी जाता है. तो थैंक यू वेरी मच. आज एक फीस्ट ऑफ नॉलेज यू आर गिवन टू ऑल ऑफ अस, जिसमें बहुत सारी स्पाइस थी, फ्लेवर थे. थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड थैंक्स टू ऑल लर्नर पैनलिस्ट एंड अटेंडीज. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us. But stay tuned. जैसा कि निवेदिता जी ने पहले भी कहा था, पेपर योर टॉक है, अभी तो तड़का बाकी है दोस्तों. So we'll be coming back again soon with तड़का to your talk. Okay, we'll be adding tadka to the talks also. So thank you Bhakar sir, thank you Katandan sir, Dr. Joshi, thank you for being here with us and guiding us. Every chapter chairperson, every members, thank you so very much. Over and out for everyone. Thank you Srinivasan sir.
Oh, thank you.
Bye bye. See you soon.
God bless Anita. All the best.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. I'm putting this meeting and for all, right? Ending for all.